What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, the beginning of the second half of the NBA season 21-22. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcast, follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed my mid-season recap. My friend Shane and I dissected every single team. Timestamps are there, so please go check that out. It's going to be good for, I guess until we make a preview for the playoffs. Those are our thoughts. Those are our thoughts, my thoughts on every team's season midway through. But tonight we're going to be talking about the two teams that we talk about on Dime Dropper on a weekly basis. That's the Clippers and the Lakers, the third hallway series game of the season. And boy, it was another nail biter. 3 games this season between the Clippers and the Lakers. 3 great games, all won by my Clippers. So your boy is a happy camper tonight. The Lakers are right behind us in the standings, and they just got pushed a little further down in the loss column there. And Anthony Davis obviously didn't play. The Lakers started a brand new starting lineup again. I feel like I say that every single time I go live. Tonight it was Austin Reeves being inserted into the starting lineup. Ariza as well, with Braun at the 4 and Dwight Howard at the 5. Malik Monk moved to the bench, as well as Avery Bradley. The game came down to the wire. It was ultimately ended by a Carmelo Anthony brick 3, a contested one with 5 seconds left. We made 2 free throws, and then LeBron with 0.7 seconds left got a chance to tie. Didn't really get a clean look in the corner and missed. But we're going to dissect all of that in a moment. If you are listening on the YouTube version, please toss a like, a comment for the algorithms. And if you are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I hope you're enjoying. Leave a review if you would like. But let's get down to business. So in this game, we as in the Clippers, started out pretty decently. But I thought Russell Westbrook was being given the keys by LeBron in the first half to kind of do his thing. And LeBron was just kind of standing outside the 3-point line and just letting Russ do his thing, right? Russ shot a couple jumpers. He was 2 of 5 on jumpers in the first quarter. And we were just getting into the swing of things. Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris Sr., and Reggie Jackson in the beginning of the game were the guys getting us a couple good looks, couple shots, Marcus Morris Sr. especially. But Terrence Mann, he got out in transition, got a dunk on one play, nice little fader in the middle. Terrence does a really good job of flashing middle. He always makes himself available for those passes, and, his off-ball ability is really good. That comes from, obviously a couple years in college and all that good stuff. So I've said multiple times on my podcast and on the show this season that I like it. I think LeBron should let Russ get going in the beginning of the game, because as the best player on the team and one of the best players of all time, you can trust your abilities to get hot as the game goes on or to pick it up later. Whereas Russ is really a confidence player, rhythm player, and you want to get him going early. And I think that's what LeBron went for tonight. I just think that he could move more off the ball, especially when he's not going to play defense, which he didn't tonight, like at all. I thought Dwight Howard was actually the bright spot for the Lakers in the first quarter. He was completely outplaying Zoo, and I hadn't seen Zubats get outplayed like that for a little while in terms of like a first quarter. Dwight was killing him on the offensive glass. He was playing more physical than him. He forced a turnover at one point, poking the ball from behind, even though it could have been a foul. Zoo just did not look very comfortable tonight. Dwight was in his head, and he was getting under his skin. And I think he had like 8 or 9 rebounds in the first quarter alone. And the thing is, the Lakers were actually winning by a couple points, but when Dwight and Russ went out of the game at the end of the first quarter, they started, getting back into things. And we started getting back into things, and we took the lead towards the end of that first quarter with our bench unit. Luke Kennard, he got hot, as he always does. And when he gets open shots, it's sniper gang. And Nuketown, you saw it on display in the 3-point shootout this weekend. And yeah, he's one of the best shooters in the world, better than JJ Baby Dick from deep. And he was hitting tonight as usual. But when LeBron and I'm sorry, not LeBron, but when Anthony Davis, Jesus Christ, when Dwight Howard and Russell Westbrook were both out of the game at the same time to start that second quarter, that's when we kind of got going. And I thought Robert Covington was one of the real bright spots of that second quarter. He was fantastic. His length is something that's so valuable. We can switch him on multiple guys, but he's even, got that 7-foot wingspan where he was collapsing on Dwight Howard and getting some blocks, or collapsing in the paint and getting some blocks. There was a possession where LeBron was trying to post up on Terrence Mann, and Terrence did a really good job, made him turn a couple times, poked the ball away. Eventually, LeBron shot a turnaround and missed. He got 3 shots on 2 possessions and hit a 3, but I could see that LeBron was gassed because he worked really hard to try to score on Terrence there, and he didn't. But the offensive rebound that I believe Dwight got led to him getting a 3 in the corner. But, that's one criticism I've had of LeBron, like, throughout his career when it comes to ISO ball. When he tries to ISO, I think sometimes he, as I say, he wastes a lot of movement to me, and he takes really long. And I think that sometimes that not only gets the defense to key in on him as much, because I know he likes to survey the floor and instead of attacking quick, and he doesn't like to me, LeBron loves to thrive in space. He loves being able to get a head of steam potentially, and as opposed to elite, because LeBron's going to finish probably with the most points in NBA history. So as by definition, he is a great scorer. And even though he's not as much of a natural isolation scorer as like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe or Kevin Durant, those guys can play in a small box of space in terms of getting into their move. They have spots, 1-2 dribble. Even Carmelo, Carmelo, you saw it tonight. He was hitting tough shots, turn around over the left shoulder, with Amir Coffey draped all over him, 1 dribble pull-ups. And there's not much you can do about that with Melo. But the Clippers dominated this, or really outplayed the Lakers in the second quarter. I thought that, again, as usual, our defense was fairly sharp. We know where each other are. We know the coverages. We talk on defense. We know who to switch, who not to switch. Robert Covington, Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann being those guys that can really switch, Nico Batum included. And the Laker role players were just really off in that Russ, Dwight Howard-less second quarter unit. Really off. THT was getting open shots missing. Melo was getting open shots missing. Malik Monk, who usually, he's been one of the best players for the Lakers this season, was only 3 of 9 tonight coming off the bench and 0 of 4 from 3, which is pretty rare this season. He is inconsistent, but especially considering how well he played last time, you just don't expect that from him. But we took advantage of it. We got out in transition. Amir Coffey made some layups. Terrence Mann got out in transition and had some dunks. And I thought Isaiah Hardenstein was pretty solid overall as well. And as I said, Robert Covington. And we opened up a 16-point lead. 16-point lead. But I will say, LeBron towards the end of the second quarter got to the basket a little bit and scored. And I remember thinking when we were up by 10 at half and looking at the box score, LeBron's got 14 points, but he's really not playing well at all. As I said, he tried to get Russ going in the first quarter, and I thought the first quarter wasn't bad. Lakers only down by 2. But then the second quarter, when Russ was out, LeBron just didn't do much for me until the last 2 minutes when I believe they were both in, or Russ was out. I don't even remember. But the point is, I thought he only played well the last 2 minutes of the first half. And he's not doing anything on defense. He's just sitting on the block, guarding a corner shooter, waiting for the rotation, but not always putting his body on the line, not always really having a real contest on those rotations. And in the third quarter, I thought he actually played decent defense, but the rest of the team did as well. I thought it was really spearheaded actually by Austin Reeves, who had a nice one possession where he had a nice defensive stand on Reggie Jackson, and the crowd got into it a little bit, and the Lakers started feeling themselves because the Clippers gave them so many opportunities to get back in the game by just missing easy shots. Ivica Zubac missing chippies. Nico Batum. And Ivica Zubac missed 2 chippies. This was one of his worst games in a while. 3 of 7, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 4 turnovers for Zoo. Nico Batum was 0 of 4, so he wasn't hitting. Marcus Morris Sr. went cold in this stretch of the game. And Reggie Jackson was just lollygagging on the ball, holding it too long. Lakers with, Stanley Johnson and, Ariza were switching a little bit more. And, there were a couple of times where I'm just looking around and it's like, Isaiah Hardenstein was actually demanding the ball in the post against Melo a couple times on switches, and we just wouldn't feed him the ball. And I know Isaiah Hardenstein's not like a post-up scorer, but when you're guarded by Melo and Melo's not known for defense, you have a size advantage. He's probably going to foul. He's got good inside position, and he's actually working for the ball. Throw him the ball. And I think we need to look for that going forward. If teams are going to switch everything, it's mind-boggling to see everybody still go with this more skilled league rhetoric. And then when you see a big guy like that, is just, mismatch after mismatch is being blown down the court. it's like you're not even questioning that shit. It just mind boggles me what kind of lens you guys are watching these games from, because I like Isaiah and I know that's not his game, but he's asking for the ball. At some point, you're as a guard, you got to throw the ball to the big fellow working in there for a post position. And I thought that the Lakers didn't go to Dwight much in that second half. He played 26 minutes and he was +1. He was the only starter besides Russell Westbrook who was +2 that was in the plus category. But, I do think that it did help because of the switching personnel to some extent. You know what I'm saying? And the Lakers were able to switch. And as I said, we weren't taking advantage of that mismatch. And Reggie Jackson was lollygagging on the ball. And the Lakers got out in transition and hit 2 threes, one by Melo in the right corner, another one by Talen Horton-Tucker, who really started feeling himself towards the end of that third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, making some tough shots. He even hit one turnaround over his right shoulder from the left corner, I think with one leg fading away. And we know THT, he likes that one-legged fadeaway. And, the Lakers outscored us 31-15 in the third quarter. And I thought we were going to lose because of how many chances we were giving them. It really reminded me of the last time we played them, where we just gave them chances to get back in the game. And, as I said, Reggie Jackson was turning the ball over. The turnover at the end of the quarter was particularly bad because we had just cut the game down to 2, and then we turned the ball over, and just like that, THT got a dunk and made it a 6-point game. Bron and Russ made some shots in the third, but nothing crazy. Again, we were keeping them at bay. Fourth quarter, though, right? I'm thinking down by 6. We still have a good shot at this. Just got to execute. Hope the Lakers mess up. And Reggie continued to turn it over in the fourth quarter. It was really bad. And Ty Lue persisted with him the entire second half, damn near. Like, he got a lot of minutes tonight, especially in the second half. He says he played 33 minutes, but man, he played a lot in that second half. Felt like he played the whole thing. I know he went out for a little bit after Austin Reeves had that little sequence where he almost ripped him, but Reggie, for the most part, played a lot. Robert Covington didn't play in the third quarter at all. I personally thought that was a mistake. But fourth quarter, despite the fact that Reggie was just playing sus, LeBron's ISO package was disgusting. Another game goes by, and I'm going to keep saying this. I have not been scared of LeBron ever when the Clippers have played him. We played a Cleveland team in his early years where we were never expected to win. I attended the home game that we played against them in 07 and 08 and 09. In 09, we almost beat them, even though we were a 19-win team. Zach Randolph airballed a 3 at the top of the key. I was at the game. And, he never we beat us when he was expected to. He never put the fear of God in me because I didn't have expectations to win. And then when he went to Miami, I remember the first time, I remember that famous Chauncey Billups guarding him, and he wasn't taking him off the dribble. And that was still when he hadn't proven himself in terms of winning a championship yet, where he was getting criticized heavy for every late game failure that the Miami Heat had at that time. And one of those was against us when Chauncey Billups switched on to him and he wouldn't take him off the dribble. And then, it's Cleveland days. We actually held up pretty well against him. And since he's come to the Lakers, the one game I'd say he really had me going like, damn, what are we going to do? Because he's playing so well, was that game in March of 2020 before the pandemic. Other than that, though, man, he really just doesn't scare me. I don't know if it's his lack of contested jump shooting and tough shot making, but it's he gets good shots for the team, but they're all shots that we live with for the most part. He doesn't really just completely take over games against us at all. And he just was looking to create that contact and just charge into guys tonight. And a lot of our guys stood up to the task and stood up to the challenge and took that hit in the chest and stayed up vertical or whatnot. And he was losing the ball a lot, a lot, just trying to bump into guys, no counters on the drive. I know LeBron has some counters where he'll stop on a dime, pump fake up and under or whatever, but on the drive, hard drive, right or left, it's it's either a spin to try to knock you down or just lower that shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And it's predictable. It's just not that hard to guard if you build that wall. Obviously, it's hard to guard one-on-one, but you got to bring that secondary defender with him. And, he's still going to make plays, but they don't have too many great shooters. And tonight he had 6 turnovers and only 3 assists. And that's very rare for LeBron James to have twice as many turnovers as he has assists. But that was the case tonight. And his ISO package is just so butt ugly, guys. And I don't mean that to grill. I'm just telling the truth. It just looked disgusting. Just trying to initiate contact and just trying to knock people over like a running back. But Melo was hitting shots. THT was hitting shots. The Brewmaster, though, got the Clippers back into the game for me alongside Terrence Mann. in that fourth quarter. The Brewmaster made a three, I believe, in that fourth. He got to the rim. Terrence Mann hit a pull-up three that cut the game from 5-2. That deficit from 5-2, that was huge within the last 5 minutes. Just pull up. That's a rarity, guys. Laker fans, that's a rarity. Terrence Mann just pulling up, shooting threes like that. He's been doing that more this season, but I didn't expect it to go in. And then he scored a couple possessions later going to the basket. I thought Terrence was our player of the game just on both ends of the floor tonight. He guarded LeBron for the majority of the game. He fought through every screen. He's just a battler, man. He works without the ball as well. And then when Russ took it to the rim, made it 100-95. This is the Lakers winning, by the way. I still never lost the faith. Terrence with a couple buckets made it to 100-99. And then we had the go-ahead bucket after, LeBron and Russ each went to the basket, missed, didn't get a call. And then Marcus Morris Sr., man, he's hit big shots in every Clipper-Laker game this season. Did it again. He's just clutch. You saw it in his days with Boston. He had a couple of game winners. And another really tough shot. He had Russell Westbrook switched on to him, and he just hit a really tough shot to give us the lead. And then that was when I believe Russ missed the little pull-up. This is when the game just got wacky, when the ball went out of bounds on LeBron's rebound, and it was such a long review. I just didn't think that this would be such a long review. I thought it was clearly off of LeBron. I thought his right foot, they gave us an angle where the right foot hit the out of bounds line. I thought that was clearly out of bounds, and it took too long. We got the ball, but then I witnessed the worst, most stupid sequence I've ever seen from a player in an NBA game in my entire life, and that's not an exaggeration. So Reggie Jackson runs from half court in the backcourt all the way underneath our own basket to waste time. But what he fails to realize is a lot of times at any level of basketball, when you have to intentionally foul, but you have time to waste, they wait till you cross half court. And Reggie Jackson was completely losing sight of the time. He would have gotten an 8-second violation if the officials didn't call a little weak hand check call on THT, a hand check in which wasn't really impeding progress. Reggie got by him, and they bailed us out with that call. They reviewed the play that was challenged by the Lakers. They ruled it not a foul. So we have a whole 2-minute review to realize that if we get the ball, we have 2 seconds to get it across half court. This motherfucker, who I love, I'm the one who started the Reggie chants in Game 7 of the first round. I will prove it to you. I love this guy. But he tried to dribble up the court when we already knew what I just said, and we got an 8-second violation. Did he think he was playing in college where there was a 10-second violation? That shit, I almost wanted us to lose just so he felt like shit after the game, because it's not personal. That's ridiculous. You're doing your job poorly. You are doing your job poorly. It doesn't matter if you're a cashier and you give somebody the wrong amount of change, or if you're an ice cream scooper and you spill that shit on the floor. He did not know the clock. The shot, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And I don't want to sound too mad because we won the game, but we won the game because the Lakers are equally as shit, if not worse. Although we're not shit, but they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're stupid. So the Lakers get the ball, right? And this came a little bit of controversy. I had arguments with my friends tonight. The 2012 playoffs, the Memphis Grizzlies played the Clippers. And in game 1, we came back from a 27-point deficit. The Grizzlies had the ball with a timeout remaining, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong, but even if they didn't, they were down 99-98. Rudy Gay held the ball the whole clock and shot, and time expired as he missed. I figured I was shocked watching that game in live time, because I thought I had always been taught when you're down by 1, you go as quick, pretty quick, or leave time on the clock so you can foul and then get another chance so you can get a 3 if they make both free throws. Or if they miss, you get another chance to make it either tie or take the lead. That was basketball 101 to me, 2 shots. But the Lakers were holding on to the last shot, which I'm guessing was Frank Vogel's strategy. But I thought when LeBron, he had the whole left side cleared out, I thought he was going to go quick and try to get the double team, or just try to go. I know he's not going to pull up a contested jumper, because, again, that's not his game. I've been saying it. That's part of why he either goes try to get downhill at the end of a game and drive and kick, or get to the basket all the way. But sometimes he's trying to duck the foul line. And tonight, I don't think it was much different. He waited a long time. I thought he had more time. Double. And remember what I said. It's the same thing I say about Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, various guys. When they're beyond the 3-point line and you send that double, it's much easier to rotate because the pass has to come from a further place, which gives us more time to rotate. And a lot of times we can choose since we're all communicating underneath the arc, we can choose who we want to designate, who they swing the ball to. You know what I'm saying? You leave on rotation, or you rotate to him and leave a guy open on purpose. In this case, it was Talen Horton-Tucker. And LeBron made a decent pass, but Carmelo Anthony, being the hero ball player that he is, he took a shot with 5 seconds left on the game clock, contested when THT had a split second where he was wide open for the extra pass, and he did not pass it. So if you want to blame LeBron for not going too quick, you can do that. If you want to blame Carmelo Anthony for being a bot, you can do that. To me, they're both at fault. Melo more so because LeBron still made a decent play, and Melo just took a terrible shot. I just really thought they should have gone quicker though. So I think that's also on Vogel. I'm never going to be the believer that you wait till the last shot when you're losing. Because if you miss, that's game. But then my friends were saying you don't ever think if you miss. Okay, fine. Just lose then. Because, LeBron's not I know he's made a lot of game winners. I can literally name every single playoff game winner he has made, but he's just not Pierce, Kobe, McGrady, these guys that have dribble pull-ups contested for the win all the time. That's just not his game. That's just not his game. When he's got extended time, he doesn't like shooting that shot. He'll hit a contested jumper for the win, though, with 2 seconds left, catch and shoot, like 2009 against Orlando or 2015 against Chicago, or against Indiana in 2018. You know what I'm saying? I know LeBron. That's what he does. When he's got more time, it's either all the way to the rim or pull up in your face before he goes in. And he didn't go to that tonight. Maybe because he was having an off night. But regardless, the Clippers salvaged the victory. Thank goodness. 105-102 to go to 3-0 against the Lakers. We outscored them 33-24 in the fourth quarter. We're 31-31, back to 500, baby. Lakers dropped to 27-32 as the gap increases. Even though we have 4 more wins than the Lakers, we have only 1 less loss. So they have played 3 less games than us. So let's see how it goes for the Lakers. Obviously, Anthony Davis not playing was huge tonight. Let's read the stat lines. Nicholas Batum, he had a nice block on Dwight, but he had 0 points tonight, 0 of 4 from the field and 0 of 4 from 3. Marcus Morris finished with 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. That was a lot of those. I'm pretty sure a couple of those were in the third quarter. Zubats, as I said before, 6 and 7, didn't have a great game. Reggie Jackson finished with 17 points, 4 rebounds and 6 assists, and 5 turnovers, but I just didn't like the way he played tonight. We should have lost. Against better teams, we'd never win that game him playing the way he did in the second half. 5 of 12 for him. Terrence, though, our best player tonight. He was our leading scorer. 19 points on 9 of 17 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3 to go along with 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. And no turnovers. Just an absolute masterclass by Terrence. And then Robert Covington was the highest player in the plus-minus category. He continues to be phenomenal for the Clippers in his role. Plus 19 for Rocco, 10 points and 7 boards to go along with 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, and 0 turnovers in 20 minutes of play. 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep, and plus 19. Isaiah, he played more than Zoo tonight, 10 minutes more. 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. He actually had tied for the most assists on our team and 2 blocks. So Isaiah overall played pretty decently, played pretty well. He was 3 of 8 from the foul line, though. That was whack. That was looking like Wilt Chamberlain out there. Make 2 more free throws, dude. At least. So Isaiah, 4 of 8. And then Amir Coffey and Luke Kennard, every single bench player, we played a 9-man rotation tonight. Every single bench player was in double figures tonight, which is definitely why we won the game. Robert Covington, 10, Isaiah, 11, Luke Kennard, 18 to go along with 6 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the field and 5 of 8 from deep. That guy is just one of the best shooters that the Clippers have ever had. He may be the best pure shooter we have ever had. I mean, I know a lot of older Clipper fans will say Eric Piatkowski. Don't mention Baby Dick. Don't. He's not on Kennard's level, not off the bounce. And the range, it's just a different level. Amir Coffey, though, 14 points, 5 of 9 from the field and 1 of 3 from deep. A lot of those in the fourth quarter. We turned the ball over 15 times, but ultimately we came out with a victory. For the Lakers, Austin Reeves, 6 points on 2 of 4 from the field and 0 of 2 from 3. Lakers as a team shot 8 of 31 from deep. Weak. Westbrook, 0 of 3 from 3. I just don't know why he takes them. He shot 2 in the first quarter. I just don't know why he takes them. 18 points, but a very quiet night for Russ in the assist and rebound category. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 9 of 21 from the field. I actually don't think he played badly. I thought this was a decent performance from him, and his defense was not as bad as usual. There weren't many moments where I figured we scored because Russ was playing poor defense. Dwight Howard was awesome when he played. He had 7 offensive rebounds, 14 points, 16 boards, and 3 blocks. Only played 26 minutes, though. I think that was because Vogel wanted to go switch heavy, and in honesty, worked. Trevor Ariza, 2 points, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. He's just washed. And I said that before the season even started. LeBron, man, when he's shooting poorly, you know he's really not having a good game. He was terrible, in my opinion, tonight. Both ends of the floor, just a passenger, and then he missed shots, turned the ball over 6 times, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of 18 from the field, and 2 of 8 from 3. He actually shot well from the line, though, 7 of 8. Then Melo, 7 of 14 with 18 points off the bench. So shot 50% and 4 of 9 from 3. Should have been 4 of 8 instead of that stupid 3 he took. And then THT, 16 points on 6 of 9 shooting and 2 of 2 from 3. So again, that just even shows more that was a terrible decision by Carmelo when THT was actually 100% from deep and you didn't pass on the ball. So you deserve to lose making decisions like that. I want to briefly say something about plumber Jim Harden on the Sixers tonight. He passed his debut with flying colors. He was fantastic. I watched the game. Him and Embiid were playing great on the pick and roll together. And Embiid made a comment after the game. He's never been that open. And they beat a good Timberwolves team where Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Patrick Beverley were all playing. And they all scored in double figures with Ant scoring 15, Cat 25, and D'Lo with 21. But they shot 9 of 39 from 3, whereas the Sixers shot 19 of 39 from 3. Joel Embiid, 3 of 5 from deep. Tyrese Maxey, 2 of 3 from deep. James Harden, though, an amazing debut. 5 of 7 from 3. 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists, and only 2 turnovers. So it was an amazing debut for Harden. Although, we'll see how they do. That's just one game. Can they build a winning streak? Can they close this season out with a top 3, top 4 seed? Because they're a championship contender if this all plays out well, which it looks like it could. I mean, I don't really have any doubts about Harden and Embiid working well together. It's a good combination. It's a big guard combination. But I just have doubts about them making it to the finals and out of the second round. Just because, the East is good this year. And again, Plummer, Glenn, Embiid, you've heard my comments. You can go to my mid-season preview, which you guys should check out. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Big win for the Clippers. Now we're going to go to the live subscribers waiting oh so patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on. If you want to drop $1 or a dime, drop a donation for your boy so we can do some more things with this shit. Thanks, guys, and have a good night. What's up? What's up? What's up? I don't remember me. I want to put him in the vanity. What's going on, you fiends? Go Clippers. Yeah, 16 people in the live tonight. Yes, sir. What's up, my boy Brian? My boy Showtime Nick, never ducking the smoke. What's up, Mikey Fong? I see you liking my stuff on Twitter. I see you, my guy. Beluga says LeBron had a bad game. Look rusty. I don't know if he's quit on this team. I wouldn't say he's quit on this team yet. MC, what's up, Moises Canega says the Lakers is just sad as fuck. Ricky Beaver says Ty Lue, Monty Williams, and Steve Kerr are the best 3 coaches in the NBA. Don't leave out Eric Spoelstra, my friend. Splash and Skill says, passing by to leave a like, but not standing here. You talk shit about Lakers, whether you will or not. With all due respect, GG, and enjoy your night. Wah, wah, wah. King Charles says, thoughts on Rocco? You heard me. Ricky Beaver says, Ty Lue is a defensive master at coaching. He was a decent defensive player, and Lue knows LeBron's moves very well. Gabriel says, I got to admit, LeBron's been seriously unclutch in his Laker tenure. Yeah, has he ever made one game winner with the Lakers? He's only really had 3 clutch plays. I can count these 4 years, but he's missed so many clutch shots and free throws. Beluga says, what is it about these Lakers that play no defense? They just don't have very good defensive personnel, and you constantly have players out, so then you don't build communication chemistry and rotational chemistry. Ricky Beaver says the Morris twins play exactly the same to me. I like them both. They remind me of Charles Oakley. No, I think Marcus Morris plays much more scoring-minded. He's much more skilled offensively. Gabriel says, well, I think LeBron was the primary factor for losing this game. Russ was really bad down the stretch. He missed an open layup to put them up 5. Instead, Clippers get a layup and Lakers up only 1. Was he fouled? Was that the one where he got fouled? When is Claw coming back? I don't know, man. You asked me that same question, my boy. June 28th, July. Ricky Beaver says the Lakers suck at endgame strategies this year. King Charles, yeah. Cal Dominic U says, I love that part where THT and Brewmaster were exchanging buckets. Ryan says Clippers are the face of LA. Yeah, they're not. You know that. Ricky Beaver says, I agree. I'll take a shot with like 5 to 7 seconds so I can get the offensive rebound. Kyle Dominic uses the game winners that I'm sure LeBron is making are the ones where he attacks the basket. When he takes long jumpers for a game winner, it's not something that always goes in. I mean, here's the thing, Kyle Dominic, it's like, I don't know, man. When was the last time LeBron made a game-winning bucket going to the basket? Like, actually made. Oh, I guess he made a game winner in that game against the Clippers. In the first bubble game. Kyle Dominic Eustace cannot ignore how clutch Marcus Morris is versus the Lakers. Ricky Beaver says the Clippers are just as good as the Suns and Warriors fully healthy. Facts. Kyle Dominic Hughes says the back shot when PG was still playing, the pump fake corner three in the Reggie winner game. Oh, yeah. Facts. The bank shot when PG was still playing, the pump fake corner three in the Reggie game winner game, and the shot today. Facts. Edward says, dude, Marcus Morris is such a head scratcher, a dud all night, but hits a big shot. I just don't know. He wasn't a dud in the first quarter. Ricky Beaver says Melo was never a high IQ player like Russ. Yeah, I was having a space, guys, this week about Melo and Paul Pierce, who was better. It was a great space. There was a lot of people in it. I gained a lot of followers from it. Every Wednesday, guys, you want to talk basketball with me, get on Twitter and get in the space. Thanks, Edward. I appreciate you, bro. What's up, Danny from LA? He says heartbreaking Lakers loss. Lucas says Lake Show lost. LeBusted. What's up, Cozilla? We up. Is that my British brother, Cozilla? Hey, subscribe, bro. Chelsea. You're a Chelsea supporter, too. I try to make Chelsea content, but none of my fans like it right now, so we'll see. We got to get more subscribers, man. Lucas says La Booty Cheeks ain't clutching the Lakers. Kyle Dominic Hughes says only remember the game time 3 versus the Spurs. I remember that early in his tenure, but they didn't win. I said game winner, not game tire. He has made some game tying shots. I know Reggie had a what the fuck moment, but I can't stay mad at the guy. I don't know what it is. He's won me over more than any Clipper. Daniel Clifford. Oh, same. I'm never going to be mad at him. Edward says 10 minutes worth of reviews. Edgar O says Reggie had a finals moment, junior moment. Valley Podcast says imagine if our stars were healthy, bro. I know. I've imagined it many a time. Ty Lue says we didn't even prepare for the Lakers. We just basically worked on ourselves, our small ball lineup things we needed to get better at. It's not about the Lakers. It's about us getting better going forward. Facts. LeBron and Vogel were really complaining about that out of bounds call, man. I don't know. I really think that was a clear cut out of bounds call. Bradley says, wish my Lakers would have won, but congrats to your Clippers on the win, dime dropper. Thanks, man. Where does Reggie rank in the all-time clips list? I don't know about all that, Lucas. I'd have to sit down. That's I don't think Reggie's on an all-time clips list. He's an all-time great Clipper role player. Let's put it that way. I thought the Paul George news was funny, of course. He's feeling good. He's on vacation with a beautiful wife. How can you not feel good? Title run next season. Kyle Dominic Hughes says Randall had another trash game. Yeah, but RJ Barrett had a freaking career night, huh? 46 points. And the Knicks lost and RJ Barrett played like that. Sharif W says, do you think LeBron should have taken it all the way himself? The whole left lane was open for 4 seconds. Yes, I do. But you know, criticizing LeBron is not safe these days. June 28th, July says, who do you want in the finals? I mean, the Clippers, obviously. Did Reggie sit most of the fourth? No, he didn't, Edgar. Ja'Cory Marshall says, damn, ain't know you was live. Kyle Dominic Hughes says greater Clipper, PG or CP3? Great question. I'd say as of now, you'd have to go with Chris, but you can make a case for Paul because he broke the curse. So let's see. Through 3 years, at this stage, I would have to have said, honestly, through the first 3 years or 2.5 years, I would say Paul George was doing better than Chris Paul because we made it out of the second round. You know what I'm saying? Valley podcast says, give me T-Man over THT. Yeah, I think it depends. I think on a team that's bad and rebuilding, like an Orlando Magic, THT would be better because he has more on-ball talent. But Terrence Mann could be a better role player because his defense and his off the ball. Edward says, Dime, make sure you're early on bobblehead night. The word's out now. Obviously, come on. He did not just break a curse. He broke a 50-year curse, says Kyle Dominic Yu. Well, the second round thing kind of started in 06, so that was cursed for a different reason. Blake or Elton Brand? Blake. But 06 Elton Brand is better than any Blake to me because his defense and his rebounding was like way better. And he was way more clutch and more reliable because he's mid-range. He was literally better at everything to me. He's just not as athletic. Or passing and dribbling, he wasn't better. But Elton was a better mid-range scorer. He was way more skilled. He was better in the post. He was much better at defense. He was such a good rebounder. Like, he was definitely better than Blake was. Greatest Clipper choke, PG in Game 7 versus the Nuggets or CP3 against OKC? No. CP3 against OKC was terrible. I'd say if Game 7's a collective choke between Kawhi and Paul. Edwards says Brand was better. But Blake is a better Clipper, though, because he got 7.5 great years. Elton, besides 06, we never made the playoffs. So, and he tore his Achilles. How did the Lakers get so bad defensively so quick? Were Caruso and KCP that good defensively? Asked Beluga. Yes. Yes, they were. They literally were. And so was Danny Green, was no slouch in the first season that they won. And JaVale McGee was awesome. And Anthony Davis was playing at a different level. And LeBron's defense was better as well. Sharif W says, who was your MVP pick so far? I got Embiid. Valley podcast says Blake would have been a top 10 player if he wasn't for injuries. Top 10 player what? In the league? He was. In 2014, he was top 10. 2015, he was probably top 10 too. Those 2 years. I'd say he was top 10 in those 2 years, or at least top 15. Sharif W says, yeah. 27 Ephesus says Kawhi a goofball for saying he king of LA when Braun got a ring first. The commercial, you're still on that commercial? Come on, man. That was 2 years ago. Drop it. He was stupid. He got what he deserved. Top 10 of all time. You're smoking crack, Valley podcast. Blake Griffin? Bro, do you know how good you have to be in the top 10 all time? Do you know Hakeem Olajuwon was a number 1 pick, dude? He went to the finals in his second season. Like, dude, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 37 and 23. They changed rules to stop him play. Tim Duncan won the championship his second season in the league as the best player. Kobe Bryant, do I need to even go there? Bill Russell's won 11 championships. Blake Griffin, he had no chance. Bro, Giannis is Giannis, and he may not even achieve top 10 status because top 10 is hard. Top 10 is fucking hard. Giannis is a beast, though. And he's much better than Blake ever was. And I love Blake. Someone said Reggie needs more playoff moments to be considered a Clipper great. I think he can do it. No, he's a Clipper great, but it's just levels to it, you know? Lucas Lyons says, what's the biggest issue with the Lakers? You know what the biggest issue for the Lakers is? There's a poorly constructed roster. They're old stars that they never play together, and they don't have good defensive role players that they have hit or miss, inconsistent 3 and no D role players. And LeBron does not make everybody better. He's not making Westbrook better because it's a bad fit, period. You know? Their 2 best players don't guard. You know what I'm saying? Besides Anthony Davis. That's the biggest problem. And their coaching is just not, this is not the right roster for him. Mann or Maggette? Oh, Maggette was better for the Clippers, but Terrence, just because of that Game 6 and the way he played against Dallas in Game 7, you can make an argument, man, Terrence could be already a better Clipper just off the value of that postseason run. Valley podcast says, I'm talking about in points. He was averaging 25 a game, bro. Yeah, but a lot of people in this league have averaged 25 a game for 2 seasons. You got to be able to do it for 10 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Like top 10 in score. Look at Carmelo, bro. Carmelo's number 9. And Carmelo is one of the best scorers I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Ricky Beavers says Kareem won MVP in his second year. Kyle Dominic Hughes says a funky diabetic made a bold prediction that Memphis will overtake Golden State for the second seed. Do you agree? No, I don't, but they could. Ricky Beaver says when AD comes back, they should make Russ the 6th man and stagger their big 3. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. Kozilla says, I'm going to be hyped when I see our fully fit small ball lineup with Rocco at the 5. Yeah, like what? Rocco, Paul George, Kawhi, Nico, and Norman Powell? Oh, my God. That's going to be nuts. Edward says, Lakers have to trade LeBron. Get what you can. He's going to leave anyways, play with his son. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Kyle Dominic Hughes says, I think Carmelo gave a lot of players their welcome to the NBA moment. Yeah, he probably did. I still take Paul Pierce, though. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for me tonight. Great win. Did our thing, baby. Peace, guys. Make sure to leave a comment when I end this video, though, for the algorithms. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. Pretty good attendance tonight. Let's get this shit popping back before the playoffs, man. We're trying to get lit here. Every Clipper game, leave a like, comment, watch my midseason preview. Talks about every team. Edgar O says, what's up with Hood and Semi not getting playing time? Dude, there's only enough players that can, not only enough players you can get minutes to. We're a deep team. All right. Peace out, y'all.